When it comes to money in 2026, there are 10 things you can no longer afford to do.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry.
I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where practical frugality meets real life. Now, money is hard, and it's getting even more difficult to manage. So we've picked out 10 things that you don't want to ignore in order to make your money work for you. Number 1, you can no longer afford to ignore your bank account. You have to see exactly what money that you have, what's available, how much is coming into it, and how much is going out of your bank account.
And the reason we tell you to do this is because oftentimes there are small leaks, and small leaks over a period of time will sink ships. This is your cue to find margin. Figure out where money is coming out every month that doesn't necessarily need to be coming out of your account every single month. Knowing those areas of margin means that when something happens that's a stressor in an area of your budget, you know exactly what other areas of your budget to look at to pull money from because you know where the margin is.
Number 2, you can no longer rely on a single source of income. We all need several sources of income in order to make it from day to day. And I'm not talking about jobs necessarily. It might be selling things. It might be that you have something that you can market. Now, Hope has some talents that she's marketed in the past to bring us in some additional income.
Those all-important side gigs, they can give you breathing room.
Yes.
Number 3, you can no longer afford to not invest in financial literacy. People who want to make forward traction in this economy, they are reading and they are researching. We do it every single week. We have a number of different sources that we know are balanced and we know they are trusted. And every email that comes from those sources, we read it. If they send us a guide, we read it. We are gathering intel and information that is helping us to make better choices for now and down the road.
You don't want to wait for a crisis to start learning. When a crisis comes, that's when you need to put in place the things that you already have learned.
So what would be a good thing to do today would be make a list. Whenever we start on a project, I start off with where I want to go, what I know, what I don't know, what I need to learn. Make a list of those areas that you're thinking, I have no idea what this areas of finances is all about. Make a list of those areas and then figure out where and how you're going to get that information. And if you're looking to reduce your expenses, here's where you can get that information for free. We have a guide, 10 ways to radically reduce your expenses. It's all the ways that we reduced our expenses when we were reaching for great big goals on a low income. I'm going to make sure, guys, that I leave a link in the video description.
Number 4, we can no longer afford to keep spending the way we were in 2019. Everything has changed. And a lot of it has to do with inflation. Inflation has taken our numbers up. It's increased the amount of money that we need in our budget in order to stay above it all. So we no longer can afford all the lattes and the different things that we used to do. We have to kind of really evaluate it very carefully and look critically at what we're doing.
We have had a lot of crises happen since 2019. And here's one of the things that I think I hear people always saying. I'm waiting for it to get back to normal. This, my friend, is the new normal.
Yes,
it's never going to go back to pre-2020. What you see now is pretty much what you get. And one thing is for certain, it's going to continue to evolve. So you need to be prepared for that. And when we tell you not to spend your money like it's 2019, we're telling you that, yes, indeed, you need to be prepared to make some changes and you need to be prepared to pivot.
Remember that budgeting isn't punishment, it's a protection.
And after we tell you all that, number 5 is that you can no longer afford to allow fear to drive your money decisions. Everything that I just mentioned a second ago, it can strike fear at the core of your soul and make you feel like, I don't know what to do next. So you wind up frozen. feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you are at the whim of everything that is happening around you. Here's one of the things that we teach a lot on this channel, and I'll repeat it again because it is so vitally important. You need to figure out what you can control and what you cannot control. There are a certain number of things that are going to happen when your utility company all of a sudden raises the rates when it comes to electricity and natural gas. Happened to us just recently. We immediately did one of those deep dives from one of our trusted sources and said, what exactly is this going to look like in our bills? What can we control? What can we not control? And what is the game plan?
So if we respond with fear, usually we're responding in ways that aren't really going to fix it anyway. They're large, big moves, and they're probably not based on anything that's going to help you long term.
Plan, don't panic.
Yes. Number 6, avoid the numbers. Now, numbers don't lie. Numbers tell you exactly what you're doing. They're like the signs on a road map that tell you what highway you're on. If you don't have any signs out there, then you really don't know where you're going. So you want to make sure that you know where you're going. Don't be afraid to look very carefully at what you're doing financially.
If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I am the numbers nerd.
Yes.
I love numbers. Larry is the one that takes all of my numbers and sort of smooths them all out with a little bit of common sense. Honey, I think that's a great idea, but maybe we need to see if we can stair step from where we're at to where you really, really want us to be.
Right.
The whole idea of knowing your numbers is not to freak you out, because knowing the numbers isn't going to change the numbers, but there are specific numbers that you need to know. Once you know the numbers, you know what's coming in, you know what's going out, you know what your personal savings rate is every month and every year, then you can make plans to change them. But you can't change it without knowing how you're going to change your habits in order to impact the bottom line. Because if you keep doing the same thing you're doing, you're going to wind up with the same results.
Exactly. Number 8 is we don't want to neglect our mindset. Now, some things that we think about in terms of our budget don't require budgeting. That's being grateful and being thankful for what you've already done and for what you already have. It's good to take a look back and see where you've been. That gives us confidence and helps us to continue.
And here's another thing to consider. Gratitude doesn't require a budget.
That's true. It
Takes
doesn't.
you $0 to express gratitude for the things that you have in your life that you love that don't cost you any money.
Yeah.
And when you get in a position, because we've been there, where, and believe it or not, because I am the numbers nerd, but I am also like a queen of whining. When I cruise along really well until something goes wrong, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's all over. And Larry is the one that goes, well, let's take kind of a logical look at this. Maybe everything is not so bad. So you have to find that balance where you are acknowledging this is the way things are now, this is the way I would like things to be, without allowing yourself to sort of grovel in that in-between phase where you are just feeling like you're stuck and you can't move forward at all. So one of the ways that we have found to do that is to just sort of make a list, an oral list, a written list. These are the things that I am so incredibly grateful for in my life right now. That does help you get unstuck.
And number 9 is related to what Hope just said, being stuck. Don't believe that you're stuck. There is always something you can do to keep going. You're not in a position that cannot be changed. There's always little things you can do in your budget that can be adjusted in order to get you to where you need to be.
And here's one of the reasons why people get stuck and they feel like they're stuck forever, because they discount little things.
Yeah.
They don't believe that those little things make any difference at
Right.
all. But small changes, which yield small amounts of savings, compounded month after month, mean larger amounts of money. It does build wealth after a time. But we're in a place, especially in the United States, where we're like, just bring it on me, fairy godmother. I need to be out of this, like next week. And it's not going to happen. Will you get unstuck? Absolutely. Will you make progress? Absolutely. But it takes dedication, it takes consistency, and it takes some time. And it also means that you're going to take those small changes and you're going to build them one on top of the other.
Number 10, we don't want to assume that things are going to get better. And what I mean by that is we don't want to assume that automatically on their own, things will get better for us and we'll be in a lot better position. We're in control of where we're going, and we have to make the decisions that get us to a better place, not rely on something outside that may or may not happen. In fact, it may get harder and not better. So these are all reasons for us to be strategic and plan what we're going to do.
One of the things I think that involves is the difference between internal and external cues, right? Because you have the
Yes, that's
external
true.
things that are happening all around us, and then you have the internal cues. We almost have to reprogram those internal cues
Yes.
so that the external is happening, but we're not allowing it to affect the internal cues.
That's right.
So when something happens and a bill goes up, you go, the bill went up. What is the game plan? That is always like your first result.
Yeah.
You know, when you Google and that top result comes up on page 1, that's what we want to have happen for you. Where you go, oh, well, the utility bill just went up, which I know I talk about utility bills because this is where we're at right now with our utility company constantly adding on new charges. We've learned that it's probably going to happen again. And when it does, we're like, all right, so they raise the rates. What are we going to do in response to that? Because we can't control it. You can't control that external, but you can control the internal. Because when the internal is in control, it eventually controls that external and what is happening outside of yourself and your own headspace. But your headspace rules. You have to believe in your heart that you can do something and that you can change.
I would like to sum that up in this way. We can't control what happens outside of us, but we can control how we react to it.
Now, one of the things we mentioned is bills that are going up in 2026. Because some of them definitely are.
Oh, yeah.
And in our own budget, there were 6 areas when we planned our budget for 2026 that were like, these are stressor areas. Now, these are areas, once again, we're not going to panic, we're going to plan for, but we recognized them and wrote them down in the budget as areas that are under stress in the budget. And if you want to know what those 6 areas are, not only do we list them in a video that we made, but we also give you a really good game plan for dealing with every single one of these areas. That video is right over there. Go watch it next.